Hello, Internet.
Hello, Internet.
Is AI safe?
Are web developers happy?
Is AI overhyped?
Why does nobody like HR?
Well, I'm going to go cry in a corner now.
Hi, I'm Todd. I'm CEO of 4 Kitchens.
Hi, I'm Elia. I'm COO at 4 Kitchens.
And these are questions about web design and development and AI and a whole bunch of other stuff.
From the Internet.
The Internet.
Todd, is AI safe?
Is AI safe? Great question. Well, it's not going to attack us anytime soon, but there are some very serious concerns around data safety and IP, intellectual property, copyright, and ownership of content that are significant and worth considering. Things to keep in mind when using AI. AI is currently trained using content that is available on the web, and we don't always know all of the content that it's being trained on. We do know that a lot of platforms like OpenAI are trained on Wikipedia, for example, but there are lots of other pools of content that it's drawing from that include content that's written by people and potentially copywritten. And that is especially true of platforms that use visual content, so image generation platforms as well. So safe in the sense of legally safe to use and propagate on your own content publishing platforms. Doubtful, dubious. You don't really own that content, and there's law that backs that up. So you can't really claim copyright on that. But is it safe from the perspective of, is it going to actively harm you? Unless it's one of those weird edge cases where it's telling you to cook with gasoline or anything obvious like that. Yes, it is safe, but be careful where you're getting your information and be careful about the ownership and the copyright around that content.
If you could give AI a safety rating between 1 and 10.
Ooh. One being slam the laptop and 10 being warm embrace.
Warm embrace of your laptop?
I'd say right now I'd give it maybe a 6. This is a very active topic. These are challenges that are actively being worked on. So I'd say that safety rating is probably going to go up over time. Why does hiring take so long?
It doesn't have to take so long. I think that when it does take so long, it's probably because the process is overbuilt. Maybe there's not a lot of clarity on who actually has decision-making power. There could be a lot of factors into why it takes so long. Miscommunication, bad communication. The way that we hire doesn't take very long, not to toot our own horn, but I mean, you only met me once and then it was a done deal. So it can just take a long time if there's not a lot of clarity on who's making decisions and who's supposed to be doing what. Is AI overhyped? Asks the Internet.
Yes and no. I think it is overhyped in the sense that some aspects of the danger of AI, I believe, are overhyped. And I think that some aspects of the promise of AI are also overhyped. I think that AI is not going to replace human creativity, and that's both a danger and a promise simultaneously. But there are some aspects of AI that are not overhyped. It is eliminating jobs. It is driving down wages. It is increasing people's expectations around job performance and productivity in ways that are frankly kind of unfair. In those ways, it is not overhyped and it is kind of scary. So I think it depends on what aspects of AI are you thinking about. It is just simply a tool, and it depends on who's using it and for what purpose.
From 1 to 10, how overhyped is AI?
I don't know. I'd say I'm going to go right down the middle. I'm going to say a 5.
A 5. 5 hyped.
It's 5 hypes.
5 hypes.
5 hypes. Why does nobody like HR?
Well, I'm going to go cry in a corner now.
Now remember, Google
asked.
People are searching for this.
People ask.
I didn't say this.
The people want to know. I think that HR probably gets a bad rap because at a lot of companies, HR, human resources, is used as a tool of the company and only the company. And it treats people like, well, resources instead of like people. And so my preferred label for this department or these roles is people operations, because it puts people at the forefront of what is really a big part of your business operations. And so I think that when people ops folks can be a liaison between the business and people, then that creates a culture where perhaps the people in those roles, those HR roles, are like valued instead of being seen as an adversary. Is web accessibility required by law?
Okay. I'm not a lawyer. Effectively, yes. Effectively, yes, it is required by law. There are some fairly recent examples of private companies being sued for their websites not working. For example, Domino's was sued by a blind man, I believe, because he was not able to, I believe, complete the process of ordering pizza online. But I could be wrong about the exact details of that case. And he won. I don't know if it's written into a law that says websites must be accessible. I do know that websites have to be accessible to users who have assistive devices, but it doesn't really matter whether or not it is required by law. The websites should be accessible, period, because it is the right thing to do and it makes business sense. If you are building a website or you're building an app or you're building some kind of technology and you're not making it accessible to people who have some form or forms of disability, then you're simply missing out on a market segment that cannot use your product. And so from a business perspective, it just doesn't make sense. At least 1 billion people, 15% of the world's population, have a recognized disability. And as the world's population ages, and it is disproportionately, many more acquire disability and yet do not identify as a person with a disability. So that proportion is likely to grow over time. And so globally, like, what does that mean in terms of dollars and economics? Globally, the market is estimated at 2.3 billion people, and they control an incremental $7 trillion in annual disposable income. So it's a lot of money. So even if you're not worried about the ethics and responsibility of all of that, then just think about the business aspect of it. Is working remote a skill?
Yes, I believe it is.
Moving along. Explain.
I think that working remotely requires a lot of self-discipline, which is a skill. I guess it's no different really than just working, right? Working is a skill. One thing that I always tell people when we're talking in interviews, and especially when we're talking about working remotely and like what kinds of challenges they might have, sometimes people get nervous about whether they will be able to focus working at home. How am I going to be able to focus when like there's laundry to do or groceries to put away, life, right? And I always say, like, some days you won't be able to focus, but that's no different than working in an office. Some days you won't be able to focus in an office and you'll just be watching Netflix or surfing YouTube videos like this video right now, Meta.
We know what you're doing.
We know. I know what you're doing. I'm probably doing it too. And so I think that like that's where that self-awareness comes into play, is like, okay, just because I'm having a little bit of a non-productive day today working at home doesn't mean I don't know how to work at home or that I'm not made for it. Okay, so I think that working remotely is a skill in the sense that it is a collection of skills that make you a better fit for working remotely. Communication, self-direction. You have to be pretty self-directed to work from home. Is AI the same as machine learning?
Machine learning is a type of AI. Machine learning is a way that computers can change its own algorithm using corrections and inputs from other machines and from people, in the way that humans learn from getting things wrong and then learning that, well, there's a right way to do things, and you got that wrong, try a different way. That's machine learning. You did it the wrong way, here's the right way, and then try again. So machine learning is a component of AI, and there are lots of components of AI. There are large language models, for example, ChatGPT and things like that are other components of AI. So there are just lots of other pieces that go into this large world that we call AI, and machine learning is one of them. And they all tend to kind of overlap like Venn diagrams in a lot of different ways.
Machine learning, just like humans. That's what I just learned.
Yeah, we're just complicated machines. Last question.
Okay, final answer.
Final answer. Last question, final answer. Are web developers happy?
The happiest people on the planet.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how happy?
How happy are they? I don't know. I mean, you'd have to ask them. I think that depends, right? So, I mean, web development is a huge industry. Mm-hmm. It encompasses numerous types of roles and skill sets and
platforms.
Platforms, technologies. The internet runs on web development, right?
Yeah.
So much of what we experience in the world is because of web development. So many web developers are happy. They're working on problems that are exciting to them. I think web developers like to be challenged inherently. And so
it's always changing.
Yeah, I think that if you meet a web developer who's not happy doing what they're doing, it's probably because they're not feeling challenged or the work that they're doing doesn't feel exciting to them in some way.
Yeah.
That's my experience so far. This has been the web's most searched questions about tech. I'm Elia.
And I'm Todd.